Hey guys, today we're going to talk about one of my favorite ways to get bookkeeping clients, and that is through referrals or word of mouth. And if you can figure out how to do this well, this will help you get better clients with less work. And this is actually a part of a virtual summit, I think it's called, about how to build your business without social media. And so my friend Gabe is doing it. She actually works for me. She's one of my favorite, most organized people I have ever met. She helps me with all my business strategy. And one time she actually tried to quit because she said she was too busy, but I was like, no, please, I need you. And so we were able to work out a different situation for her to work less hours for me. Anyway, her virtual conference is totally free. All the information is going to be in the description box, so definitely check that out. All right, first let's talk a little bit about how I have used or haven't used social media and my history on referrals in particular. So when I first started my business, I have a Facebook page. I think it's still up. I'll have to double check that actually. But I made it because I thought that's what I was supposed to do, and it didn't really get me any clients, I don't think. It might have helped, I think it did help some of my friends and family know that I was a bookkeeper. I would post here's my box of receipts that I'm working on this week, or here's a selfie of me in my client's office, because I used to go into my client's office and work. So it was kind of fun, but maybe not super useful. And then obviously I started YouTube. I think that's not officially a social media because it provides really long form content, and so people are able to kind of get to know me, hear me blabber for longer, or I can do literal QuickBooks tutorials. I can give teaching rather than just a quick blurb on social media. And you probably heard me say before, my first couple of clients were either people I knew pretty well or acquaintances of my sister's classmate was one of my first clients. And I have a whole 20-minute masterclass on how I got my first 3 clients, where I go through exactly who they were, how I got in contact with them, what I said to them, and how much they paid me and all that. So that is called How I Got My First Real 3 Clients, I think, and that is listed in the description box. All right, next section is what are the advantages to referrals. I kind of already touched on this, but usually you get better clients that way, because if you know someone or if you're already working with a client, then their friends are going to be probably like them and a good fit for you. I think that's often the case in different, that's why large companies want referrals, because you refer people who are like you and probably are responsible and ethical and all those things. And then when the referral comes to talk to you as the bookkeeper, they already have a lot of trust in you. So it's more likely that they're going to hire you because they trust their friend that recommended you. So it's just an easier sales process. You don't have to explain as much or prove yourself as much, I don't think. It just makes things quicker and easier. So hopefully that's convincing. Let's talk about who can be a great referral source. So I already talked about your friends and family. Think about people you used to work with. So past coworkers, because these people you kind of have a professional relationship with them. Sometimes your coworkers that you see every day become your buddies because they just know so much about what's going on in your daily life. So think about people that you've worked well with in the past, or maybe a previous boss or someone like that. Think about any small businesses that you're coming into contact with in your daily life. So I've said this I think before, but if your kid is taking a lesson, a taekwondo lesson, maybe that small taekwondo studio needs a bookkeeper. It's probably likely. So as you're just going about your day, train yourself to think about who might need a bookkeeper here? Who do I already have relationships with that can refer me to other small businesses? And you guys know that I recommend chatting with CPAs or tax preparers to see if they have extra work for you as a bookkeeper. So anyone else kind of adjacent to our field like that, think about that. So an example might be someone who designs websites for small businesses. Their clients are also small business owners who are kind of getting going and who have a bit of a budget to hire a web designer. So maybe you and that web designer can collaborate and share, your client referrals because you're both working with the same types of clients. All right, and then how to maintain and kind of nurture those relationships. I would say do it similar to you do with your friends. So maybe you go to coffee once a month, or maybe if something big happens in their life, you email them. Maybe they just bought a house. Be like, how's the new house? I think a simple email list is also a great idea. I have a video all about a beginner funnel for bookkeepers, and that tells you how to create just a simple free item that people want that they'll, put in their email address. And then once you have a list of email addresses, you can email them every so often to give them true valuable bookkeeper content. Here are 10 tips for getting business deductions for tax time. Or here's a quick outline of how you can deduct meal expenses as a small business owner. I'm Morgan. My website is FinePoints.biz. I'm supposed to tell you I just started a Twitter. Here is my Twitter handle. It's kind of fun and chill over there. Just yesterday I lip synced a parody from a famous show about, a write-off let me know in the comments if you know what show I'm talking about. Someone who doesn't know what a write-off is, they're like, it's a write-off. You just write it off. The government pays for it. Anyways, so check out TikTok if you're already on there. Follow me. And then I also have a membership available on my YouTube channel. So you don't have to go, you don't even have to go anywhere. Just hit join. There's a join button and it gives you access to all my digital freebies. So you don't have to find them all on every single video. There's like more than 10 of them, maybe 15. And then you also get a discount on my products and your questions answered first. So if that interests you, it's a small monthly fee and we can just connect a little bit more. All right, next is how to do this naturally without feeling too salesy. First of all, remember that people are interested in what you do. They wanna like know about you and what you're doing as a person, how you're spending your time. So you can just chat with your acquaintances about your job. That's normal. One thing that helps me too is go to a specific group that is focused on networking. So you've heard me say a million times, BNI groups or other like networking groups that you can find. So I just heard about one called the Polka Dot, oh dang it, I forgot the name of it. But I'll see if I can put it in the description box. It's a networking group just for women. I think if you Google polka dot something, then you can find it. But there's people out there, and LinkedIn is another place where people are on there for business purposes. So that is, if people already have the mindset of like, oh, I'm looking for this service provider, or I'm here to do mutual referrals with another service provider, that helps me just get in the mindset of being a little bit more promoting of my business. You can also volunteer to teach a class. Maybe there's a community center or again, your chamber of commerce in a city or a niche, or if there's a hospital or something, maybe if you're looking for medical clients, you can teach a class as a bookkeeper and just be like, come to my free class. I'm gonna give you all this helpful information, how to keep track of your office space so that you can deduct from your house, your office space on your taxes, right? So if you're teaching a class, it really helps you gain credibility. It sets you up as an expert, and then people will trust you, and they'll also remember you in the future. Even if they don't need a bookkeeper right this second, they'll be like, oh yeah, I went to that class a year ago that Morgan taught and she was really helpful. She seemed to know what she was talking about. So now I'm in a place where I need a bookkeeper and I will get back in touch. All right, let's talk about timing, the best time to ask for a referral. So with clients you already have, I would put it in somewhere in your onboarding checklist, maybe after like 3 to 6 months of working together, where you can just somehow tell them either in an email or in person, like, I am looking for other clients if you know anyone who needs a bookkeeper. And you could also time this maybe after you do something kind of like good for them, or if you go a little bit above and beyond, or if they're really happy with a project you did or a graph you created or something, just kind of ride the momentum of something good that you did. Also think about seasonality, because as bookkeepers, we don't totally like live and die with tax time, but around like the end of the year or the beginning, like December, January, some business owners are realizing, oh, I'm gonna have to pay taxes really soon and I haven't prepared anything, and so I need to hire a bookkeeper. So that is a time of year that I see kind of like an influx in people needing bookkeepers. So that might be a good time to kind of promote your business with referrals. Conversely, don't bother CPAs in the middle of tax time because they can barely see straight. I mean, maybe if you're saying, I'm gonna offload some of your work, that would be helpful. But in general, think about the time of year and when the ebb and flow of when people are busy and not. Should you offer incentives for a referral? I can kind of go back and forth on this. I've heard people successfully being like, oh, here's, a discount on your next month's services. You get $50 off if you refer me a new client. Or maybe you send them like a small thank you gift, or you give them something of value that they want. Maybe it's an additional consult on, a 30-minute consult on their finances and, 10 things that you think could help them be more profitable. So think about the value that your client wants. Sometimes clients don't care if they get like $30 off. Like a consult would be more valuable to them. Also, honestly, just genuine, heartfelt appreciation and thanks goes a really, really long way. So maybe you write them like a handwritten card and mail it to them in the mail. Like humans want to help out each other for the most part. Your client probably likes you and wants you to succeed. So if you are just really grateful if they send a really good client your way, then that is going to give them like warm, fuzzy feelings, and hopefully they will think about doing that in the future as well. I actually sent one of my neighbors a referral one time and she was able to get business from that, and she left like a bouquet of flowers and a handwritten note on my doorstep. And I don't know, I was like, that's so sweet. Like, I didn't even want anything in return. I was just trying to like connect to people, but just like her gratitude and the fact that in hindsight, I realized, oh, that makes a big difference to her and her business, like more than I even think about, you know? But just again, her heartfelt thanks like went a long way. And what advice would I give someone who's struggling to get referrals or a referral system going? I would say a couple things, and it's not specific advice. Hopefully the rest of this video had more specific advice. But basically one thing is like truly believe in the work that you're doing, that it's actually helping business owners. So when I talk to a business owner, I really truly believe that as a bookkeeper, I'm going to make their life better. And sometimes I have to train myself to remember that. So if you remember that people want your services, that helps you out a lot. I think just doing really good work is also a way that's gonna help you get referrals, probably not like overnight, but through the years. If people like and trust you, then they're gonna want to refer you to their friends. So your work will kind of start to speak for yourself. You will build trust, build your relationship. And lastly, I just say be patient. It's not gonna happen overnight, but over the years, it's gonna be easier to get referrals and to get clients. I honestly think my first few clients were the hardest to get, like the first year or so. My first year, I made like a really long list of every single person I could ever talk to about bookkeeping and possibly hiring a bookkeeper. And then I would do like weekly coffee dates with these people off my list. And I would just like put in FaceTime, and I would get out of my little introvert life and I would force myself to put myself out there. And so it's hard at the beginning, and you're gonna have to probably hustle at the beginning and work for it and get out of your comfort zone. But as time goes on, now I'm at year like 11, I think, and I have too many clients and my time is completely full, so I do not want to take on any more clients. I don't need any more clients. But if I did, I feel like I have the network now to get clients as needed. So hopefully that's encouraging and not a downer, but just remember at the beginning it's harder, but it does get easier, I promise. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're thinking about getting more clients, don't forget to check out that free conference, the online conference that you can have sent to your email inbox. And it's a whole bunch of different speakers speaking on different topics, so you can kind of pick and choose which ones you like also. But all the info for that will be in my description box.